What is up, everyone? I am Saint Sir Coach, and I am here to collectively process some things I need to process with the collective. And there may be other light workers, other star seeds, other earth angels out there who also need to process some of this stuff. So I hope we can all get it out. Um, and to become the best version of ourselves and hopefully really like match those timelines that we've been manifesting, right? We've been manifesting the timelines of prosperity and abundance. Maybe we've been seeing it happen around us like, man, look at all my friends. They're really doing it. They're really yo, good for them. But what about me? I'll be patient, but like, when is it my turn? Um, and some of that has to do with, right, still having blockages, still having shadow work to work through, inner child, inner wound things to work through, which is all different ways to say the same thing, right? For me specifically, and there's also like karma clearing. I specifically have like a lot of drama from past lives, specifically with a divine counterpart, who I think is my twin flame, might be soulmate, but I think this message will resonate. Whether your divine counterpart um, is super external from you, whether you've been thinking about it or if you've just been having these feelings. So I'll get a little bit into my journey and my story, which is that from like a young age, I remember this pressure to like have a crush and like to crush on celebrities, to crush on people like in my school. And so sometimes I would just like make things up. I'd be like, oh, well, this person, I guess, is like if I had like, if somebody was forcing me to choose a crush, I guess this is the person that I think is the cutest. And then they'd be like, oh my gosh, you like this person. And I'd be like, yeah, I guess, because I just didn't want to fight my friends. And sometimes I would end up like having crushes on courses, crushes, quote unquote, and on the same people my friends had crushes on, or that my friends were quote unquote dating. I mean, we're only like 8, 9 years old. I don't know what relationships these are, but those are also the ages. Some people go into puberty at those ages, so things can get intense. Especially if like elementary school is like Degrassi style. Um, which, if you don't know, is a Canadian high school teen TV show, which Drake actually got his start from. He was on this really dramatic TV show that went on for, I'm pretty sure, decades. I don't know if it's still on now, but you can look that up, Degrassi. And it's known for having, like pregnant teens, teens who are struggling with their identities, teens that are struggling with substances, teens that are struggling with adult, quote unquote, um, circumstances, because it's about growing up, right? And being like in this in between of not necessarily like illegal things, because of all the identity stuff, I think is really strong too. But it's like super dramatic. It's super dramatic. Every season is different. Not only that, there are multiple series within like the franchise, like Star Wars does. So it just keeps going. And so you have like different casts, different cohorts of the character. So people graduate and then they move on and they like close up a series, and then they recast it, and then they try to do new storylines. But of course, it's high school and you can only come up with so many ideas of what's going on with people. Although I think the last season I was watching, they did finally have non-binary characters. They had trans characters before, but they finally were having non-binary characters, which still at the time was very, very new. That was like, oh, the 2010s, maybe. So, but even now in 2024, I feel like even with more people who are identifying as non-binary, third gender, and um gender non-conforming and gender variant in other ways, um, you still don't see that representation in the media. But don't worry, because my friends and I were making it happen. My friends and I are artists, and my friends are filmmakers, and they're doing the dang thing. So that's going to be great when, you know, our kind of age group and our demographics kind of take over those industries. Although there are definitely independent things out there if you're looking for them, if you're looking for representation. Although that's not what this is about. This main message is really about, finding yourself, I guess, is a part of it. But I had abandonment issues from like childhood. And so then when I started getting older, when I started, getting to middle school, um, I in high school, I did start to actually have this. It was more of a desire of wanting to feel wanted, I think, more than like it was like, this one will do. This person will do. That's fine. This person's cute enough. Because a lot of times, like, I wouldn't even talk most of the time. I didn't talk to my crushes in person at all. It was all through, they were all pen pals. It was all through like text, instant messenger, what we called them at the time, which is basically like DMs or private messaging, but you would do it like both of you would be online at the same time, so it'd be like a continuous messaging. Um, which nowadays a lot of folks don't necessarily unless they're texting, like instant message each other, although it's totally possible to do that, right? Um, but it was a lot of these pen pal relationships that fizzled out, and I remember like these people would play me like a fiddle, and it's not like it. It went and like in college, it kind of continued as well, but in college, like people actually, um, I feel like I got a lot closer to like things almost happening with people, then I would get too scared and I would hold myself back because I was like, wait, like, do I actually like this person? Do I actually like, I think I was just talking to them for a second, but now I don't know. Or I had also had issues around my body, trauma around my body, um, gender dysphoria, body dysmorphia, all of these complicated things that made me like sometimes feel okay in my body, sometimes not. Um, and I remember just being like especially in high school, although middle school was such an emotional time. I'm sure I felt it big then. But in college and then even in adulthood, I'm like, man, everybody, even like when I started dating and hooking up with people, like most people only wanted something casual. And now and then at first I was like, well, I'm gonna blame it on this pandemic now. And now I'm like, do I still blame it on the pandemic? Because the pandemic is still a pandemic, like it's still going on. But there are people who've had kids, who've gotten married, who've started relationships, and then now are even more serious. And that was like post 2020 that happened. So, like, what is it that like I'm just not attracting people at all, or I keep attracting people who only want something casual when I want something more, or I want to be treated like seriously, taken seriously, and I want genuine connections. But then I'm like, but is it what I want? I'm like, yes, that is what I want, but I'm not manifesting it. I'm manifesting it, but I'm not. I'm manifesting it, but I'm not. I'm manifesting it, but I'm manifesting it on this timeline that I have not aligned with, because deep down, I still think I deserve this more like sad, pathetic, woe is me, like, this sucks, like people only want something casual with me when I have a personality too. I just want people to recognize that I have a personality. Um and then and I'm still struggling with this, right? This is something I'm still struggling with, even though several months ago I had an auto regression and for past life regression um that happened in my sleep, that was completely incidental. I quote unquote accidentally hypnotized myself into an auto regression. Um, I don't necessarily recommend it, but my soul wouldn't have let me seen what I saw in my dreams and those memories if I wasn't ready for it and if I didn't need it. And so then I woke up and I remember being writing everything down as fast as I could. And then a song by My Chemical Romance called The Ghost of You came up. It's such a dramatic, powerful, deep, heart wrenching song. Um, that can have a lot of meanings depending on the relationship. Music video also goes hardcore, but I remember this song because I discovered it in like middle school. If I hadn't already had that song on my radar, I don't know if that song would have immediately came to me, but it immediately came to me, and then I was bawling my eyes out. I was crying so hard. I mean, there was violence in the dreams, there was heartbreak and heartache more than anything, and then it just felt like losing a lover over and over again because that's what happened. Um, and so in my past lives, I had, these relationships that where I was like in love with a person, they were my best friend. Um, I probably saw like four iterations, maybe 3 to 5 iterations of the relationship. Hard to remember now, but um there what I didn't get was like what's the tale as old as time, the twin flames, runner and chaser energy. But what I did get was the implosion of like we were so loose, which is why I'm like, oh, are these twin flames or are these soulmates? I think twin flame just because it's just so strong. Um in me, and this is what can happen with twin flames is like almost this obsession with like no, like nobody else. Because what would happen is like the person it would happen is unfortunately someone would pass away, and that is how the relationship ended, at least in the memories I saw. And when someone passes away in the earthly realm, um, this idea that someone's gone too soon isn't actually accurate. It's actually the opposite. It's that while humans, others' souls left behind might be like, dang, we were just getting along. And, we don't, because of the veil of forgetfulness, we don't remember our soul contract and that you said you were going to dip out early. Oh, man. And now we're feeling some type of way. And then the flesh failures, we're feeling lonely, we're feeling abandoned, all of that, we're feeling hurt. But really the soul is, it's like, yep, I'm gonna dip out now. And sometimes that timeline gets shifted and sometimes they have to leave sooner than originally planned. But it's not like they're being like non-consensually plucked out. Now with the twin flames, it is very much a little it's a little different because there is like possibility of like an implosion of like these magnets, right, are drawn to each other and only each other, so much so that they're forgetting that their mission on earth as light workers, right, technically is to raise the consciousness of the entire human species. It's not to just be in love with each other and then just woo woo, just kissy kissy all day long and pretend the world doesn't exist. I mean, it's really to show that relationships, and especially current modern day contemporary, right? Each iteration is to show that relationships can exist in a different way. Relationships can look like a different thing. And these aren't always romantic relationships, but in the dreams that I had, they were all romantic. Romantic, and then with definitely a big root of like friendship in there. Um, and it was hard for me to remember, like, was it me losing the person every time? Because I felt the losing of the person, but I also had these witnessing moments of watching someone else like be the one losing the lover. So I was both the lover that was lost and then the one losing the lover. And let me tell you, on both ends, it was not it's not pretty, it was really sad because I was like, are you kidding me? Like we're so in love. And then um for me, I was like, "Oh, this makes so much sense." Like, it's like every lifetime we had that we incarnated at the same time, we were just like madly in love with each other, connected, and that was great. Not every time, but a few times at least, right? Um, Out of all the times we've incarnated, and these were quite recent. Like I'm talking like 60s, 50s, 19, late 20th century. And then I'm not sure if I had any in the 21st century. I don't think so because I was born in 95. um, but before, like in the I think in maybe even earlier, maybe like 40s and then the 70s. But it also felt like I had memories of possibly different timelines on Earth, where it was basically similar things happening, but just coded in different um times. Um, or possibly, right, also secondhand experiencing the pulling and the illusion of the separation of selves. But when we're all part of the same oneness. Um, but regardless, like I woke up and I felt like these were memories. And that's what made it harder, to bear with compared to like, oh, these were dreams. Because like, why would I be dreaming about this? Like, who are these people? Why would I be dreaming about this content at all? Why would it go like back to back, shift back to back, like they were flashbacks? Even with my PTSD, I've never had flashbacks like that. When I've been asleep, like nightmares, I've had the same people, but never the same circumstances. This was like same circumstances happening, similar circumstances happening in different ways, different people, different faces that I couldn't necessarily recognize, except for knowing that I was one of them. And I was one of these people, like each of these times. And then it made me feel like, well, this is why I'm like so scared to get my heart broken, which is why I kind of self-sabotage sometimes. Because I'm like not really trying to get my heart broken, but at the same time I'm like, but I want to know what love is. I want you to show me. Like I want to know what all the hype is about. I have serious FOMO, serious fear of missing out. And I feel like even though I have been hurt in past lifetimes, and past incarnations when my soul has previously been on earth. There's something about like all this hype. Everybody's making all these books and music and TV and movies about love. And I'm just like, dang, especially this specific Eros romantic kind of love that may lead to marriage, may lead to a family. And it's important to know that for light workers, like especially incarnated right now, we are trying to change like what these relationships can look like. And a big part of that is remembering that, like, as cheesy as it sounds, it starts from loving ourselves first. It all starts with self-love, and we really can't have that external love until we really are whole on the inside with ourselves. So I don't want this to go too long, but what I do want to do is I want to kind of cleanse and release this lover, this past lover, um, as much as I can. And I'll probably have to do this a lot, but I encourage you also, if you have feelings of like, well, I've never been in a relationship, but why do I have such big FOMO? It's like could be because of a past life thing, or oh, I've had relationships, but they've all ended amicably. So why do I feel so like some type of way all the time? And sometimes it could be because of this past life karma, this past life blockages, past life karma creating blockages in the present, in the now. And some of it could be like why we chose to incarnate, why we incarnated this time around. Some of it is what we were made to let go of, what we wanted to let go of, and clear what we wanted to grow from. For me, I think being content with being alone was a big part of what I need in this lifetime and what was needed and what this lifetime is meant for. Now, do I really want to be alone forever, forever alone? No, but if I keep getting hung up on like that being the worst thing ever, because I still have community. I still have my cat. Maybe I'll get more animals in the future. Maybe I'll have a farm. Maybe I'll get to hug some cows, do some equine therapy one day. So that's how that's with horses, you know, like anything is possible. But what's not going to happen is me finding someone who's going to respect me, treat me right, treat me like I do have a personality, treat me like I am the catch that I know I am. If I keep holding on to this past lover, whether I think I've met them in this lifetime or not, that's something that also has been coming up. Is that it's very hard for me to let go of these quote unquote crushes I have, and I'll have them for years at a time, even if I never meet the person in real life, or we're always like passing by, like ships passing by in the night, and never actually interact face to face. Um, so a lot of like misconnections, or like private chatting. I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that. So we're gonna let go of it. I'm calling my lover Romeo. So I relinquish you, Romeo. I relinquish the hold you have on my heart. But I also recognize your love for me, Romeo, and that love that will forever be within me. But I also recognize that I can experience love just for myself through the love of the universe, through the love of spirit and source energy. And that is the love that I have for you, Romeo. And that is why the love is so big and so vast and so deep. But if I turn inwards, I recognize that love is already inside of me. The pain is that it feels like there's an umbilical cord on the outside. But I'm fine having a belly button. And with this, I say we cut the cord. Cut the cord so we may both be free of this karmic entanglement. And so that I may be free of what is holding me back from loving myself more deeply and letting in external love that would be more aligned, more supportive for me. Okay. Now, of course, you can say a lot more. You can do a whole, like a whole ritual or spell casting. You can really go hard if you want to. But I think that's good for me. That's good for now. I'm trying to do videos that are shorter. But if that resonates, we'll see what cards come up also. And um there might be something interesting here. So let me see. All right, let's do this Oracle deck first. Like starting with Oracle, not Tarot. Okay. This I was like, I don't know if this is a real card or not because it's cut, so it got stuck on a bunch of other cards, so I obviously need to tape it up, but I'll pull it anyway. It's a great card. Card 21, First Breath, Beginner's Mind. So this is really like letting go of the past, letting go of what you thought you knew, you think you know, and really just surrender to like learning like what is it like to love from like scratch, like what is it like to get lost in the moment, um like never before. What is it like to experience anything? Time to replenish. Empty well. 16 adds up to 7, a very mystical spiritual number. Empty well. So I know for me, I'm dehydrated literally, but there's also ways I can replenish like myself and like my soul and my spirit needs nourishment. I need it. I need it bad. I need some self-care, some treats, even a bath, and taking time to like do arts and crafts for myself. We have Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom, card 34. Again, another 7. And getting threes when we add up some of these numbers. We got 21, so that was added to a 3. We had card 16, so that's 2 ones there as well. So 1, 1, 11 might be significant, 3, 7 might be significant. Lay of the Land, Ancestral Wisdom. So this is like what we're tapping into here. It's like, all right, ancestors are helping us recognize these things in us where we're like, oh, these are like our karmic, or these are our intergenerational traumas that we are here to help heal from. Deep quiet meditation and stillness. Card 11. All right, here we go again with the ones, and then also 2 if you add 1 and 1. But you also have the ascended master number of 11. So lots of power there. So I'm someone who I like to fight silence and certain stimulation with overstimulation and with a lot of music, with a lot of sound. Sometimes I find it hard to sit in the silence, but sometimes sitting in the silence is exactly what we need. Whether we're listening, and you can listen to like a meditation track, it doesn't have to be pure silence. Um, or if you want to challenge yourself with pure silence, you can go outside in nature. It's never really pure quiet, right? You at least hear the birds, the wind rushing the leaves, all kinds of critters and animals out there, maybe people, maybe traffic, maybe technology, and things that remind us of like what is technology. The other thing of technology, it's like the in infrastructure and industrialization, right? All of that stuff. So like cars and factories and things. We have card 2, beloved, radical acceptance for ourselves. And also radical acceptance means radical love, radical compassion. So that's radical acceptance of ourselves, radical self-acceptance, radical self-love, radical self-compassion. Can you dig it? Can you do it? I don't know. I'm asking myself this question as well. Um, but I know it's necessary. And so it's like, can you love yourself like the universe loves you, like spirit, like source loves you, like Gaia loves you? A tidy house, clarity and organization. Card one, saying where does it all start? And sometimes this is like not necessarily a literal home. Sometimes like your mind and your body is your home first, right? Like the body is a temple, and taking that out of like religious dogma, but really that like how we treat ourselves, everything starts with how we treat ourselves first and foremost. So we want to try to treat ourselves the utmost care that we can, the utmost respect that we can, and treat ourselves the way we know we deserve to be treated, right? Because if we're not treating ourselves the way we deserve to be treated, how can we expect other people to treat us the way we deserve to be treated? Right? Then they're just going to keep projecting and mirroring back at us all these things we need to work through. And then we're going to be, fake confused, like, hey, why does this keep happening? Hey, that's mean. Hey, this always happens to me. Aw, well, I know I deserve better, so why does it keep happening? And why it keeps happening is because deep down, and maybe not even that deep, we don't think we deserve better. We actually think and feel we deserve that that BS. And that's why it keeps manifesting for us, because our thoughts are so powerful that if we spend more time focusing on what we don't want over the things that we do want, we will end up with a life full of manifestations of everything we don't want and the things that we try to escape. Now it's hard because when those things are heavy and they're real and they're weighing down on us, it's like, dang, how could I think or focus about anything else? But it's like you kind of have to fake it till you make it, and remember like that childlike energy of like dreaming and dreaming big and being like, well, what do I want? I know I want more than this. I know I want better than this. I know I deserve and need better than this. So let's make it happen, as above, as below, so below, right? Eight of Swords, the Eight of Swords in reverse in this tarot card. And for swords, also in this deck, this is the music tarot deck. So swords is also for blues or rhythm and blues, R&B. So, really getting that those vibes. Although a lot of music I would say is emotional. So I feel like it's hard because then I feel like with the pop music, the artists in the pop are also very emotional. Wow, okay, but we have the world card upright, which is Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder is in the center, right? We have kind of the wreath going around Stevie Wonder with these beautiful purple beads on his little twist, his hair twists, or does he have locks? I can't remember. There's a cherub, there's an eagle, there's an ox, there's a lion, or maybe it's a bull. Um, but we have all these kind of representations of like strength, power, angel protection, guidance, wisdom, and harmony, balance. I mean, hello, the world. So we're already getting out of this fun. Just from you watching this video, just from me thinking about doing this video and trying to put some gumption, behind my words. We're making this happen. All right. We have the devil, but we have the devil in reverse. No tricks on us. No tricks on us because we see right through. We see right through. So this is Sid Vicious as the devil. Sid Vicious was in God, what's the rock band he's in? It's not the Pixies. Why do I want to say Pixies? It's not Pink Floyd either. It's gosh, this is gonna bother me so. Sid and Nancy. All right. I know they're like whole thing. They're like a tragic. London Bridge is falling down. No, Sex Pistols. I was like, starts with it's like a P. It's like in the British. What is that? So, and here we even have that he's like that his like wings are already changed and his pockets are his hands are his pockets. He doesn't really give an F, right? But we have in reverse because we know that the devil is not just is there to help illuminate illusions, but it's up to us to see past the illusions of it all, right? It's not the devil's job to be like, oops, or like, here's a hint, here's a clue. It's also not the universe's job or God's job or anyone else's job to point things out that we might be missing. But we're not, we're catching on to it, honey. We're up to it. Seven of coins. And so when it comes to the practical realm of things, sure we could have more, but hey, we're getting there. We have plenty to choose from here. Maybe too much to choose from, but our practical is getting in order. All right. So with our Eight of Swords in reverse, the overthinking, the ruminating is not running our minds. And when it comes to having to make a decision, when it comes to having like we're getting there, we're getting there, we're getting there. We're making choices when we used to be indecisive. And we are also getting our practical lives in order bit by bit, bit by bit. And then boom, I got this card earlier in the upright, and now I'm like, now that I've literally reached out to friends to hang out, to talk, like it's wild. And now I'm getting the Hermit in reverse for all of us, myself and the collective, those who resonate. So we have the Hermit, which is David Byrne, I believe, which is a perfect artist to have in music tarot as the Hermit. Though is tinkering away, mostly by himself, but also creating like really awesome, cool things. So I've heard. And then bottom of the deck, underneath that, we have the Moon, Nina Simone. Beautiful. So emotions, a balance of emotionality, balance of divine feminine. We have also this energy where we didn't really have cups come out, surprisingly, but it's interesting. There's a white dog and a black dog on like almost being worn over her ears, like they're not earrings, but they're just like hanging down, almost like two wolves, right? We have two wolves, but then there's also the lobster that hangs around the neck, which is reminds me of like finding your lobster, your true love. And then of course the yin yang, that is the black and white balance of duality, which is not binary, but everyone talks about it like it's just two things in harmony, like two opposite things in harmony, which it's much deeper than that. And if anyone knows Bagujang and the real yin yang theory, like we know that there's like 64 elements involved, that it's not like, yes, can be reduced to two, but is it about a binary and just polar opposites? No. And everyone has a mix of all of these energies, right? And lastly, I think the deck I want to pull from is going to be Britney Spears deck. I just want one card from the Britney Spears deck to tell us, okay, so from here on, what's this energy that we need? What's the Britney energy that we need to be bringing to really feel like ourselves, really feel like that be, to be like, oh yeah, we're really doing this. Like I am that boss. I am that baddie, right? Here it is. And this is perfect for the summer, for July, beach babe. And what's great is that there's literally no body. It is just a bathing suit, a yellow bikini. I don't even have bathing suits. I should buy one now that I have a paycheck. For my last paycheck, maybe I'll use it to buy a bathing suit. So I can go to the beach, take myself to the beach, collect some shells, and just have a time and, be one with the ocean, with the water and the sun. So that's beautiful. Beach babe. And that's, not having to worry about, oh, I have to get in shape or have to do something to my body to be ready for the beach, to be ready for the summer. No, you were born ready. You are ready. You will always be ready because you're amazing. We're amazing. We're awesome. We're perfect. And that's it. That's that. So whatever makes us comfortable, that's what the deal is. So thank you so much, and I hope y'all get to enjoy the beach if you can this summer, or um, even if it's like not the temperature of like warmth where you are, maybe you're on the other side of the hemisphere. Um, I think that's how it goes. And maybe it's like winter where you are, but maybe there's like coastal waters you can still go by, or maybe you can take a vacation, or maybe you can do like a virtual beach, something online, a virtual reality or augmented reality, or you can even just take a nice bath in your home, a nice warm bath, especially if it's cold outside. Um, and you can use Epsom salts as the sand. I mean, you can have all kinds of little tricks and ways to create that for yourself, and create moments where you can have fun with yourself, and create dates for yourself, like painting at home. You can pick up cheap painting supplies from a dollar store, bargain store, even a pharmacy might have in the stationery section some painting supplies, watercolors. You can do coloring book. You can read. You can even read aloud. Um, Sometimes I find it nice to read aloud, like I'm reading to not just to myself, but to other people. And it makes me, one, like feel better about what I'm reading, but also more confident. And it also just, because sometimes it's faster. Like I can read faster when I'm reading aloud. Um, yeah. So I wish you all the best, and I hope to see you on this channel. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of those good things if you enjoyed yourself here. And remember to love yourself first and first and foremost. Please do. Okay. Don't forget your worth, and don't forget your magic. Don't forget who you are. Right. Peace and light.